So as you can see, we've added a grade scheme for JS1 and 2. Let's also add a continuous assessment and exam scheme that should be used for all entry of data or records for subjects for JS1 and 2. So we're going to switch from grade scheme to CAE scheme. As you can see, there's 0 here, 0 CAE scheme. So we're going to click new grade and CAE scheme. So this environment gives you the this environment is used to add a CAE scheme. As you can see, you have to provide the scheme name first. So we're going to start from here and provide, we can call this JSS1 and 2 CAE scheme. For CAE scheme, depending on your school, like in this case here, my school offer subjects or offer records. In this case here, this school here, for the grading system or the CAE scheme, the score ranges from 0 to 100. There are schools that may go to 200 or 500 or maximum 1000 if you are going to use nersapp for grade scheme computation. So let's assume in this case here it is 100, meaning that you cannot score beyond 100. So we're going to go back to our environment here and deploy that. So the maximum performance score in this case here, in most schools, normally 100, so you have to provide it here, 100. Then we start adding the row. So we're going to start from the first one. As you can see here, we have test 1, and we say the score, the maximum should be 30 if a student should, if test 1 record should be entered for subjects. So we're going to give it a name here, call it test 1, and the score there should be 30. We go again, we have test 2, and what we set aside was test 30. We have what they call test average, assuming that is the name you want to call it, which is the average of adding test 1 and 2. As you can see here, we call it the average of test 1 and 2. In nersapp, you don't have to add, in this case, 30 again. Instead, you can tell nersapp to do a simple basic computation for you by providing the CAE names. So you can call it test 1 plus test 2 and divide by 2. This will calculate the average for students who offered test 1 and test 2. As you can see here, the total score is 30 also. Next row we can enter is exams, and exams we say 70. You can see 70 here. And the last row is total. And you can see total is the sum of test average and exam, which is test average plus exams. Please, you must be careful to provide the exact names you use for your CAE names. Failure to omit the names will render it invalid formula. So we're going to make sure that we use the exact name with the exact spacing that we created here. So as you can see here on your school, the total test score or the total score for subjects should not max 100 according to what we did here, maximum performance score here. And if you create this CAE information, the total score here should be the same, 100. Here should be 100, which equal to this 100 here. If they are different, nersapp would complain bitterly until you fix the anomaly. So we're going to regard this row here as the total score row, so nersapp can know, because right now nersapp cannot tell if this first row is a total score column or the second row or third, fourth or fifth. So to tell nersapp that okay, this last row here is the total score, so nersapp will always watch out for the total score and compare this value with the maximum performance score. So we're going to say okay, nersapp, this is the total score. If we say that this is the total score and you're about to save this record, nersapp would complain and says data row that represent total score, that is this row that you check the total score here, must have the same score value as maximum performance score. So you can see here this one is 70, whereas the maximum performance score here is 100. So we're going to go back and pick 100 there and save. So that's how to successfully add a CAE scheme for subjects, in this case for JS1 and 2 in secondary school. You can see here we have the name, we have the maximum score of 100, is in reserve mode. That means it has not been used yet in one or more classes. I have over 5 CAEs there. To edit, you click on it, make some changes and save. To delete, you click on the delete icon, click yes to delete and click no to reserve. Deletion will work when this scheme is in reserve mode, but when it's in use, you cannot delete this scheme.